it's Morgan. Welcome back to my channel. Today, I am here to do the Buffy tag. Surprise, surprise, it's Buffy again. So Buffy is my current obsession. If you've been following me for a while, you will notice that while I love a lot of fantasy and sci-fi series, I tend to have like one show that I just get really into at a time. And right now it's Buffy. It's been Buffy for a while, since last summer when my roommate, who had never seen Buffy, wanted to watch it. And this is Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Obviously, what other Buffy is there? If your name is Buffy, no offense to you. So I finished watching the Buffy rerun and I got super into Buffy, but like nobody's really into Buffy these days. I mean, people are, but it's hard to find them. And then I found out that there was the Slayalong going on BookTube, which I used to be a part of, am now a part of. Again, I jumped back in, partially because I wanted to join the Slayalong, which I could have just done from the sidelines, but no. The Slayalong is a joint Buffy rewatch. I mean, you watch it at your own pace, but we're watching one season a month, and right now it is June, and we are on season 4, so if you want to join in that, you should totally join in that. And also, because I just finished watching Buffy and they added Angel, I joined in the Slayalong mostly to watch Angel, and then I found out that there is a Buffy podcast called Buffering the Vampire Slayer, and I've been listening to that like crazy. I just got back from a work trip, and when I go on work trips, I tend to spend a lot of time in the car or on a plane, and so I like finding new podcasts to listen to, and the Buffering one is definitely my favorite right now. I go through Buffy episode by episode and then talk about it, and then different themes that are in the episodes, and then they also have a lot of guest stars, like actual actors, and so far I've only listened to the actors, but I'm sure they have other people as well, like people who worked on Buffy are some of their guest stars, which is really, really cool. And they're just super creative people, the people that run it, Kristen and Jenny, and then Joanna and Kristen, like everybody who comes in and works on that show so far has been awesome and amazing, and they seem really cool, like really cool nerds, and I mean that with like all of my heart in a nice heartfelt way. So I totally suggest, if you're a Buffy fan, to check out that podcast. Anyway, it's made me really want to talk about Buffy, and I have to wait until the end of the month to talk about season 4 because I'm doing the Slayalong, right? So I was like, okay, well, how can I just talk about Buffy as a whole? And then I thought, oh, there are these tag videos. So I found the Buffy the Vampire Slayer tag video, and I am going to just talk a little bit about Buffy. This is a great way, I think, I like get to know me Buffyverse version. There will be spoilers in this tag, so if you haven't seen Buffy, go watch Buffy. What are you doing here? Question number 1, your favorite episode. This is really difficult. I started watching Buffy with a musical episode, and it's probably the one I've seen the most, and because that was my intro into it, you know, I normally tell people to start on season 1. If you can't get into season 1, maybe go to season 2, but if someone's like very, very hesitant to start Buffy, or they're very adamant that they don't want to watch Buffy, I'm normally like, okay, let me show you this one episode, because if they don't like the musical episode, they might not like Buffy. I feel like that kind of encapsulates the heart. Is that a word? Encapsulates? Encaptures. That kind of captures the heart of Buffy. And so most of the time when I show people that episode, they're like, oh, yeah, I thought this was really cheesy, and it is kind of cheesy, but it's really good. I would say that one. I also rewatched Tabula Rasa a lot, which is the one right after that where they all lose their memories. I think that one's absolutely hilarious. Those are my favorites to rewatch. What's my favorite one of all? I'm not sure. Graduation Day. I think I loved like that moment, the graduation day moment where they all come together to defeat the mayor. Like, there's so many good episodes. So many good episodes. So it's really hard for me to pick, but probably one of those 3. Next, your least favorite episode. My least favorite episode has got to be one of the early Monster of the Week ones in season 1. Like, I think the one where Willow has like this weird computer boyfriend or something. Or the one where Xander, I think it's called the Zeppo, where Xander, it's all about Xander. And I don't mind that we had a Xander-centric episode, but I don't like zombies. And he like goes off and meets the like weird zombie gang. I wasn't into that one very much. Question 3, your Buffyverse OTP. Angel and Buffy. No, Willow and Tara. Willow and Tara. Your favorite major and minor character. Okay, my favorite major character is really hard because I love Buffy, I love Willow, and I love Anya. Buffy was my favorite character all the way up until season 6 when she started sleeping with Spike, because that really bothered me at the time. I didn't get the appeal of Spike. I like Spike as a character, but I don't get the like attraction appeal that Buffy has to him. And she was very, you know, she's going through a really hard time. She's clearly very depressed, and I like that storyline, but when I first watched it, it was harder to relate to her, and I just kind of lost, I didn't lose respect for her. Maybe I did lose respect for her. As an adult, I have much more sympathy for her and compassion and understanding, and I'm like, okay, I get it now. So yeah, I think Buffy in general, because she's just such a strong character, physically, but more so mentally and emotionally. Like, she's flawed, but she's peppy. She tries to make the best of everything. She tries to be a good leader, but she's also wants her own life, and I think that's super admirable. Everything that she does is admirable, and she has the best one-liners. So how could you not like Buffy? But Willow is a close second, and Anya is also a very close second, because Anya's just hilarious. I love her. My favorite minor character is Andrew Wells, Tucker's brother. I love Andrew. Some people don't like him. And I understand, I didn't like him either until, so I had watched Buffy many times growing up, but I always stopped at season 6 when Tara died, because I hated that, and I did not watch beyond that, except I think I watched the season finale of season 7 just so I knew how the story was wrapped up, and I was like, yep, don't like that. I'm not gonna watch it again. That was when I was 13. 13 was when that came out. And I watched it live and never watched it again until this January when I was rewatching it with my roommate, and I finally watched season 7, and I realized that there was this whole arc with Andrew that I knew nothing about, and it was like new Buffy content and a whole new character, and it like opened this whole new world for me. And I love Andrew because of that, because of the storyteller episode with him in the camera, and I was like, there's this nerdy kid, and he used to be a villain, but now he's good, and he wasn't like a super evil villain. He was just like kind of bad. He was pretty bad. But anyway, he's like 100% my character type. He is like me from a Mirrorverse, right? Like if I was evil, I feel like I would be Andrew. But he's funny, he's entertaining, and I hardcore love Andrew Wells. Oh, I cosplay Andrew, and I do the big board, you know, so this is my small board of his big board, you know, in the scene where he's like, oh, I have a big board of Sunnydale. It's hard to see with the lights, but I have it. It's pretty cool. I also have my Andrew Wells shirt on. Cat's gonna knock over the camera because the cat doesn't like Andrew. He's like, stop being obsessed with this weird person. But yeah, this is I call it my Andrew shirt. Everyone else calls it my Andrew shirt. Sometimes I call it my Buffy shirt, but everyone knows it's really an Andrew shirt. Thanks, Kat. Thanks for turning that towards me. So next we have our favorite quote. I don't know what my favorite quote is. I feel like I should have one off the top of my head. Now, because I'm talking about Andrew, I'm thinking of Andrew's like Darth Rosenberg quote. That scene makes me laugh so much, but I know there are better ones. Anya with bunnies, for one. So many lines from the musical. Anya and Xander's song in the musical. I've got to find a good quote, but there's got to be like good, powerful, inspirational quotes as well. I don't know. When I think of like a powerful scene, I actually am thinking of what Buffy said to Jonathan in earshot when Jonathan had the gun, and Buffy thought that he was going to shoot up the school, and I think the audience thought that as well, but then it turns out he was actually going to kill himself. Buffy's speech about that, I think, was really powerful. I like when Buffy's like, I'm the thing that monsters have nightmares about. That's just a beautiful moment, and that's a great quote. But I also really liked, I think more powerful is, the hardest thing in this world is to live in it. And then, not a powerful one, but a very memorable one is out for a walk, bitch. Oh, Spike. Gotta love Spike. Favorite villain. Well, I like Andrew when he's not a villain better than when he is, so I'm not gonna count him. My favorite, it's really hard. I would say the mayor is my favorite villain because like classic, like he's just so creepy and like cheesy, and he's fun to watch. Well, Spike too. But again, Spike gets more redeemed, so I'm not going to count Spike. Spike's a great character, and I love him. I don't know. I love Spike as a villain. This is too hard. I would say the only villain that I absolutely hate with all certainty is Warren, and I think he's beautifully written because of everything that went into his character, and I could talk about that for hours, and I won't. But I absolutely, absolutely hate him, and I have no sympathy for him, and he is the one character that I guess that makes him my favorite, but I don't want to pick him to be my favorite because I just like him the least. So I'm gonna go with the mayor. Your biggest WTF moment. I don't know, I think it's gotta be when Tara got shot, because that was just like heartbreaking and heart-wrenching, and I did not see that coming. I mean, it was a huge WTF moment. And the death that made me cry the most was also Tara. Also, when I rewatch it, like while I'm watching The Body, I cry through that whole episode, so yes, maybe that one made me cry more while I was watching it in the moment. Like when I watch Tara die, I don't always cry, and if I do, it might not be like consistently for hours. But there are times in my life where I will randomly just think of Tara and start crying because I miss her. So long-term over life, I would say Tara is the saddest death. And short-term while watching it, I would say is the mother, Joyce Summers. Anya was also really sad, and I'm really upset about that. But I don't think the other two are just so sad that one wasn't quite as bad. Last episode that you saw, well, I finished watching the whole thing, and then I went back and watched parts with Andrew so that I could film them for my friend and be like, look, this is Andrew, because she didn't want to watch all of Buffy, and she's seen the first 3 seasons in Angel, but she needs to watch the rest of them, and it was going to take her too long to get to Andrew, so I went back and filmed some of my highlights of Andrew. So it was probably the last thing that I filmed was Andrew and Anya's little speech together in the hospital when they go to steal hospital supplies, but good stealing for people in need, because Sunnydale's already destroyed and it's gonna get blown up anyway, so it's not really bad stealing. So I think that's the second to last episode, whatever that one's called. If you had to get your friends to watch the show, what is one sentence that you would use? Do you want to watch the most epic and well-written story about a badass superhero female and her misfit Wiccan lesbian and nerd friend who saved the world? Does that sentence even make sense? I don't know, something like that. Basically, it's the best show ever. That would be the other thing that I would say. It's my favorite show. I do think it's one of the best shows. It blends humor and drama so well, and then real life and supernatural so well, that it is goals. It is goals. So one of those, just take a sentence out of that mess, and that's my sentence. All right, well, that is it for today's video. I am surprised that I did this in under 15 minutes. Every time I talk about Buffy, it goes on way too long. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that. If you want to hear me talk about Buffy again, or some more, again is fine. I don't know why I'm stopping myself, but feel free to subscribe. I talk about Buffy a lot, and I'm going to talk about Buffy even more. And I promise I'll talk about some other things too, occasionally. I also have a booktube channel if you want to head over there, where I talk about books. So if you like me, but you're sick of Buffy and you want more content, you can hear my opinion on other fictional worlds through pages on my channel Little Word Weaver, which I will leave the links to down below. Thanks for watching. See you next time.